record. Mike should be dropped.
On what?
Thank you.
On meaningless
Thank you.
numbers. This is who you are, Chris. They're
Meaningless.
Because the two numbers you refuse to talk about are the two big zeros that Steph Curry has, which is 0 MVP finals. All right, he hasn't been the finals
got 2
MVP.
in the league.
No, I'm talking about the finals. He's 0.
But he's got 2
and for
in the
all
league.
the shots you talk about, he's 0 for 8 when the game really matters in the postseason. You need a big shot.
No.
If you've been following the NBA for a good amount of time, I'm sure you've probably seen the bizarre thing that NBA fans and even the NBA media tends to do from time to time, and that is create narratives that are made solely to tear down a player. Steph Curry has been one of the league's most polarizing players in the last few years. He's won 3 titles, 2 MVPs, one of them being unanimous. He has countless three-point records that I'm not even going to begin to list, and he's been widely regarded as the greatest shooter of all time. But
of everyone on Golden State. Open shot, fate of the universe on the line, or the Martians have the death beam pointed at Earth, you better hit it. I want Iguodala. That's right. And I know what that sounds like. And it's not fair to Steph because so much defensive attention is paid to him. And I'm not saying Steph's not a better shooter. He's a way better shooter. Iguodala's got ice water in his veins.
So today we're going to talk about these narratives, and be sure to wait until the end because there's a very interesting statistic that I thought you guys should see. Alright, so let's get into the video.
Here's the deal. If you recall, one of the MVPs that KD had, there was a debate as to whether or not Steph was going to get it. There was a debate as to whether or not there was that Steph Curry was going to get, because he had played well enough to warrant MVP consideration. That's number one. We were sitting in the media room amongst ourselves as reporters wondering who was going to get the MVP, and some people were surprised it actually went to KD.
After the 2019 finals in which the Warriors lost to the Raptors in 6 games, many people started running once again with the familiar narrative that Steph Curry doesn't show up on the big stage. This narrative started all the way back in 2015. Steph Curry in the 2015 finals averaged 26 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists, but he didn't win finals MVP. That's because a man named Andre Iguodala stepped in and held LeBron to 39% shooting in the series. He definitely had a case, and that's a reason why he won it. But there's another reason. Due to there only being 11 voters for Finals MVP, which, why is there only 11 when the regular season MVP has over 100 voters, but anyway. Due to there only being 11 voters for Finals MVP, the voters had a tough decision to make. Because 4 people had already voted for LeBron due to a great effort with a hobbled team, this led voters to vote for Iguodala as he already had some votes and they did not want LeBron to win Finals MVP in a losing effort. So there's one of the reasons why Iguodala won Finals MVP with a 7-4 vote over LeBron James. Yes, Steph Curry received no Finals MVP votes despite averaging 10 points more than the next nearest teammate. This isn't a knock to Iguodala, it's just clarifying that Curry was the best player for Golden State, with Iguodala also being valuable in slowing down LeBron James. That being said, there is no way in the hell that you can say that Steph Curry choked the 2015 finals because he didn't win Finals MVP. The 2016 finals is the only conceivable reason that argument can even be made, and that was coming off an MCL sprain. Yes, I'm going there. Because no matter how you look at it, there's just no way you can just write off Curry coming back from a 4 to 5 week injury in just 2 weeks. MJ2K All Day has a great video going into detail about that if you want to watch. That being said, injuries don't excuse some of the things that happened in that series. He played terrible in games 1 and 2 with only 29 points combined in those games. The Warriors would go on to get curb stomped in game 3, then came game 4, which was Curry's best game in the series. Then Game 5, LeBron and Kyrie dropped 41 points each, while Curry drops just 25 points on 8 for 21 shooting overall and 5 for 15 on threes. Game 6, in which Curry didn't actually shoot that bad, he had 30 points, however, he was in foul trouble constantly, which costed them in key moments and kept them from closing a lead. He would ultimately foul out for the first time in his career. Then comes the infamous Game 7, in which Curry would score just 17 points on 6 for 19 shooting, and in the final minutes, he would throw a pointless behind the back pass, airball a layup, shoot this 3, and then get put in prison for a full shot clock by Kevin Love. Meanwhile, Draymond Green in this very game had 32 points, 15 rebounds, and 9 assists. If the Warriors win this game, there's a very real possibility that we are talking about a Draymond Green Finals MVP right now. Yes, But anyway, here in reality, that doesn't happen. Cavs win, 3-1 comeback, 73-9, unanimous MVP. Let the jokes begin. The 2017 finals were a rematch between Golden State and Cleveland, but with a very big change. A man named Kevin Durant is now on the Warriors, and they have their way with the Cavs. Durant puts up historic numbers of 35 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists on 56, 47, 93 shooting splits and wins Finals MVP. Wait, so that means Steph Curry once again doesn't win Finals MVP because he averaged only 27 points, 8 rebounds, 9.5 assists, and 2 steals on 44, 39, 90 splits. KD was the clear best player in the series, but once again, there's no way in the hell that you can say a man that averaged damn near a triple-double in the finals choked. Plain and simple. The 2018 finals were, guess who? Golden State versus Cleveland. The Warriors would sweep, but hold on. Steph Curry once again doesn't win Finals MVP, with KD averaging 29 points, 11 rebounds, 7.5 assists on 53, 41, 97 splits, and Steph Curry averaging only 27.5 points, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists. The award was once again given to KD. However, this time the decision was met with questions as more people believe Curry deserved to win Finals MVP this time. While KD did have an all-time great Game 3 putting up 43 points, Curry had a 33-point Game 2 in which he scored 16 of those points in the fourth quarter, including 5 threes, and actually broke the record for threes in a Finals game with 9. Game 4 was the closeout game in Cleveland in which Curry put up 37 points and hit 7 threes. The Finals MVP could have gone either way, but once again, if you called not winning Finals MVP a choke job, I really don't know what else to tell you at this point. The 2019 playoffs had its ups and downs for Golden State, from Steph Curry averaging 25 points against the Clippers on 50-50-90 shooting, to KD straining his calf against the Rockets. When this happened, a lot of people had pretty much chalked the season for the Warriors. A pivotal Game 5 tied 2-2 in a series which Houston came back from down 0-2, in a series where Steph Curry was playing horrendous, and now in a Game 5 where Houston had come back from down 20, and the guy averaging 35 points in the playoffs goes down. Everything was there for Houston. So how does Curry respond? He steps up big in the fourth quarter to close Game 5, scores 33 points in the second half and 23 of those in the fourth quarter to close out the Rockets in Game 6. Then goes on to have visually and statistically one of the most dominant playoff performances against the Blazers in the Western Conference Finals. He averaged 36.5 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists on 47, 43, 94 shooting. Then it was back to the finals for Golden State, even with Kevin Durant out. They would fall Game 1 because Pascal Siakam decided to have the best game of his life. They win Game 2 in a nail-biter after Klay Thompson would leave with a leg injury after landing awkward. They fall Game 3 with no Klay Thompson despite 47 points from Steph Curry. Fall Game 4 after Kawhi goes Super Saiyan in the third quarter. Win Game 5 after what seemed like multiple daggers from Kawhi. And finally lose Game 6 after Klay Thompson leaves with an ACL tear after scoring 30 points in 32 minutes. Overall in the 2019 finals, Curry averaged 30.5 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists. But this is where things start to get controversial, because of this shot.
To Green, who catches it, back to Curry, puts up a three, won't go, rebound Cousins, deflected, picked up by Leonard, falls to loose, they dive.
And all this did is give more fuel to those who use the next narrative about Steph Curry's career.
These injuries are something that I've never seen in finals history, except maybe going back to the Lakers days. And even Steph, he almost started another injury. He was so just upset about the pain that his brothers have been through. Then on his way to the shower, he punched the wall and then went in there because he was upset.
Well, he better be careful because they already committed $200 million.
Watch that hand.
I mean, watch that hand. That's number one. Number two.
If I were in the locker room, I'd just say, Steph, it's the fourth quarter, 3-2, and he missed the wall.
There you go.
You may see this stat floating around here and there, and at first glance, yes, it does catch your eye. But once you actually look into it, you'll begin to see just how cherry-picked this stat actually is. Steph Curry is 0 for 8 on go-ahead shots in the last 20 seconds of playoff games. I know, Sounds bad. But what it doesn't take into account is game-tying shots and go-ahead shots with more than 20 seconds on the clock. If we add 4 seconds to have a full shot clock and the game-tying shots within that time, Curry goes from 0 for 8 to 4 for 15, which may not sound good at first, but when you actually see how he compares to other stars around the league, you start to realize that it's not actually that bad at all. Now let's talk about the fourth quarter as a whole. Steph Curry in his finals career shoots 46, 43, and 98 in the fourth quarter. For comparison, in the finals overall, he shoots 42, 39, 93. So in a weird turn of events, Steph Curry actually shoots better in the fourth quarter, and it's quarters 1 through 3 that are bringing his shooting percentages down. So whenever you want to use these narratives or believe them, just think about this. If these were true, why does Steph Curry have the record for most points in a playoff overtime? Why does he have the record for most points scored in a 4-game series? Why does he have the record for most threes in a playoff run, playoff series, finals game, and finals series? Why does he average over 28 points in both Game 7s and elimination games? Why is he the only player in league history to average 25 points and 5 assists for the winning finals team and not win finals MVP? 3 times. And last but not least, why are Steph Curry's stats in the last 2 minutes of playoff games so similar to LeBron James? Except one of these guys is a playoff choker and the other one is one of the greatest playoff performers of all time. Just something interesting to think about. Let me know what you guys think down below. Leave a like or some suggestions on what you'd like to see next. And as always, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.